Hi, everybody. Um, Sorry, I got tied up. Okay, can everybody hear me? Voice okay? Okay, great. How about the video today? Last time, I'm trying it on my different computer today. Last time we had some problems with it, and I just want to check and see if the video is okay today. Okay, video's okay, hearing's okay, great. Um, here's what I wanted to talk about. There was a term that came up that seemed to describe everything. Well, let me see who's here. Hey, Tennessee Mike, NRS, yes. Randy, DGB, NS something. Hi guys, Alex, John. Hi John Doe. Mooney 42. How you doing? Eric, let's see. Caliber 3135 and Crappy's here. Um, let's see. Oh, Kyle K. You were the first one here. Tim, how you doing, man? Where's Bill? Oh, that's me. C'est moi. Sorry, I got was a little late. Okay. Let's let's talk about um, Weasel-Talk. Okay. It's one of the things that I don't know why it sort of sets me off. If you have something to say, the most important thing is to clearly say what you mean. I think when I started off was is that if I see a watch and it describes everything about the watch and it says Swiss movement, I know what that means. It means it's not an in-house movement, and part of the Weasel-Talk is a Swiss movement. If, on the other hand, it's a if it says an ETA 6498, I know exactly what it is. If it says I'm trying to think of some other ones. I can't. If it has a Moser, what is the HMC 325 or something like that? I know exactly what it is. Hey, Andre, how's it going, man? But if it says Swiss movement, I know that it's not made by the it's not made by it's not in house. Okay, it's not manufactured by the people who produce the movement. And so that was this is the kind of thing I sort of wanted to kick around with you guys. Now another one that is Weasel-Talk is the premium. Okay, premium sounds like you're really getting something, but to be fair, the word premium also means surcharge, additional payment, extra amount charge, additional fee. Now, a few years ago, we had the snow, and hey, Franisek, we had the snow, and it stayed cold, and it snowed again, and again, and again, and again. And what happened was that the snow on our roof and in our area got higher and higher and higher. And they said, it's very dangerous to leave it up there. And so what you should do is you should get it off. Well, uh, we eventually had to hire somebody. Now, the guy who was my boss at the time, back when I was working, he had hired somebody pretty early on, and he told me what it cost. I thought that was great. And so, anyway, uh, so we hired a place, and those guys they like had tripled the charge. Okay, it's called price gouging, and when a watch company says, "Oh, it's a premium," there's a premium on it. That's price gouging. I wish they would call it that rather than a premium. that's that's what I call weasel talk. I'll tell you something sort of interesting. I was trying to find the origin of premium, and the origin was it meant a share of the booty. Okay, and crappy, not that kind of booty. Anyway, it was like if there was a bunch of pirates took a ship and everything they took from it, all the booty, the premium was what each of the people who participated got. Okay, okay, so those are a couple of things. And what I wanted to sort of talk about is that what are some of the other weasel talk terms that are used by the watch companies? Um, excuse me. Um, there's one that's used for something that's plated, and I forgot what it was. Like instead of saying something is gold plated, they call it something else, but in fact it's gold plating. Limited edition, perfect example. Uh, a gold case, that's it, and that's something gold case. Well, I think I swallowed something, a bug perhaps. Um, okay, so let's talk about limited edition. Now, realistically, everything is a limited edition. All right, every watch is made. If you make a million watches and quit making them, they're limited to a million. All right, so I've seen these advertised. This is limited edition to 2000. Now, on the other hand, there are some companies that don't make a lot of watches because they make them by hand. I mean, they're craftsmen. Um, H Harbring 2 is the most affordable example. But Kerry Wooten Lonan, his are, I don't know what he makes. It doesn't make very many. His charges about $40,000 for them as the starting point, and it goes up from there. Um, okay, so the the when we say limited edition, what does it really mean? I mean, if they said, okay, if we only make X amount, that's a limited edition. Now, the other kind of thing, the idea that you can charge more because it's a limited edition goes back into another. There's a premium because of that. Hi, RRR. Um, okay, what German brands? Hey, RRR. We're talking about Weasel-Talk, but I'll mention one. Langenheim is good. Um, Rolf Lang. Those are recommendable ones. I like let's say a Laga, to Tutima. I think Tutima is a really good one. Glashudi Original. Lots of good ones. Okay, Sin. are so many weasels. It's like so many weasels in so little time. Okay, okay, so we got the Kadoki, and that's something. That's a great example. Tissot is labeled as luxury Powermatic 80. Luxury, yeah. Tennessee, that's a good one. A luxury, yeah. All of those things. I think what happened was that you used to have things that were very exclusive, but not very many people could buy them. They were truly exclusive. Only rich people. The early Chanel, Dior, all of the fashions like that, and so luxury. I mean, now you get what Rolex cranks out about 1.4 million watches a year, and they could do more than that, but they couldn't charge their premiums. Let me see. What are some other ones? Langenheim is tough to find, and Langenheim's father's brand. Yeah, Rolf Lang. It's called Rolf Lang Dresden. There's one place that handles them. You can find them online. The guy that handles them, You can find them on Chrono 24. Okay, hey Milton. Um, RR, it's Rolf Lang without the E, Lang, just Rolf Lang Dresden. There are a bunch of us who are passing one around. Northeast Goober, hi. Okay, exclusive $900 tourbillon movement. Whoa, $900 for a tourbillon. That'd be some. Hi, Roy. Um, the okay, back to Weasel-Talk. Some of the ones you said, hi, I heart. Um, some of the some of the things. Kyle K. I bet he's been napping. I can hear you. I can see that, Kyle. Okay. Remember, even if it's true. All right. Hey, Roy. All right. Let's see. Go see superlative chronometer officially certified. Yeah. What about that? That's sort of an interesting thing. I was wondering about that. Uh, if you if you have a craftsman working on Kadoki is a good example of a guy who makes just a few watches. Rolf Lang was telling me that he could produce 30 a year if he had a helper with. Um, oh, come on now, let's not call people names, okay? Jeanette. Oh, what's a Jeanette scandal, NRS? I don't know about that. I know about the Jacquet scandal, the affair Jacquet, and I know about oh God, what is it? Who's the guy in New York? Something the jeweler, the guy who had to go to prison for money laundering. Anyway, um, oh yeah, the Janot scandal. I have heard of that. That's basically Janot was the legitimate arm, and the other arm of the watchmaker was making bad ones. Um, okay, no sweat. Jacob, that's it. Jacob the jeweler. Jacob the jeweler has 5 entries this year in the Grand Prix d'Horologie. 5. Okay, my hunch is that he's not going to win any of them. There's if you look at the movements in the entries, you have all different kinds of things that people are talking about. The ones who don't mention anything are the ones who have that sort of weasel talk through silence. Okay, um, Squally or come on, man! Now, everybody be nice. Let's see. Jesus. Alrighty, let me see what's going on. Hey, let me see. What was another term? Um, oh, let me see. Okay, we got Swiss made. There's nothing wrong with Swiss made in and of itself. If they have like, we have an ETA movement that's Swiss made, that's one thing. If they say we have a Swiss made movement, that tells you nothing. Okay, let's see. Jacob and Company, amazing. They make toys that are, yeah, Jacob the jeweler has had about a 6 week or 6 month course in jewelry making, or maybe it was 6 weeks, something like that, and that's it. He became, but he makes this very noticeable jewelry. I'll put it that way. And so anyway, but that's another story. Okay, my pleasure. Okay, let's see. Luxury, something like that. Tiger shark. Tiger shark. Yeah, that was a. Yeah, is that the whole thing with these what I guess what are called luxury brands? You get a brand out there. Oh, let me think of one. Um, the only ones I can think of. Dior. There's a good one. Dior watches. All they are is some cheap watch with a Dior logo on it is about it. Now, on the other hand, you have ones that you can mistake for luxury brands that really aren't, like Chanel, like Hermes. Those two, I think, are oh, Arpel. What is that one? What's the name of that one? Okay, Elite Collection. That's another good one. Um, Cartier and IWC. You're right. Cartier. This is one of the things about Cartier that drives me crazy. Hi, Watch Lounge. How you doing? The thing about Cartier, Cartier has some fantastic movements in some of their watches, but they're so used to not telling, not revealing what's in it. So even if there's something really good in their watch, one of their watches, they they they're weaselly about it. Uh, for a long time, most of their watches had ETA movements. The same thing was true with Panerai, and then they would come up with it was really something else. And so the they see, I think it was in 2012. That's been a while ago. I think it was 2012. Yeah, I think it was 2012. The watchmaker of the year was oh God, what's her name? She has a dual last name. She's a really top watchmaker from Cartier. She was the top one, and she came out. They did I don't know how many different movements when she was there, and so here they have all of these watches somewhere with the stuff that was in house that they did, and then they have this stuff that was had either quartz or some cheap movement. It was quartz. They did say it was quartz. They didn't say what kind, but they just said quartz. And so you have good movements and crummy movements, but they lied about they weren't revealing what they were. And so you really didn't know. Hey, the 24 karat, how you doing? Um, okay, let's see. It's crazy when it happens in Richemont brands. They have access to sister company movements and engineering. No excuse for them and IWC to act the way they do. I agree. That's a good point. Um, what? Yeah, okay, now here's the other part of it. Here's the other part of the story is that there are a lot of guys who are watch collectors who buy into the same thing, and that's too bad. Let me tell you how that happens. A while back I got a watch. A long while back I got a watch, and I loved everything about the watch. And then I took it up to a guy, and he said, "Oh, it's got an ETA movement in it," and I was just really mad at. And then I called the company, and they were weaselly about everything. So the thing about it is, I thought, oh man, if I want to unload this thing, the movement has the name of the company on the movement, and they have another name for it. But essentially, it was an ETA 7001, right? Okay, it's not a bad movement. I mean, it really isn't. But they consistently write about it. Now, if we as watch collectors say, man, I tell you, if I tell them what's in this thing, I'm going to lose my shirt on the thing. So let's say you paid $10,000 for a watch. The thing has junk movement in it, and I use junk in quotes. It's just not what you paid for, essentially. So the watch collector says, well, I'll just use the same kind of Weasley movement, and we get sucked into the same thing. And that's one thing I don't want to do, is for that to happen. Um, Hi, TEF, how you doing? The it, and it's hard. It really is hard because especially if we spend a lot of money on something and we weren't paying attention to the Weasel-Talk. Sometimes I know I've been just so excited to get a watch. Oh, I got to have that watch. That's a beautiful watch. And then I my better senses get a hold of me, and I find out what's in it, and not quite what I wanted. Um, Hi, Minnie Belnor, is that it? Hi, Minnie, how you doing? Uh, the so so this is something that for ourselves, I think we have to really say, look, we- we're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore. Uh, Something from an old film. But anyway, I just sort of wanted your views on that. Um, I don't mind the watch companies as much because if you take some time to do your research, you can figure this stuff out. If it's Weasel, YouTube watch guys that are snake oil salesmen. That's true. That's what they are. They're snake oil salesmen. Yeah, no offense to the snake oil salesmen. You get at least they have real snake oil. But anyway, what I was saying is that we've got to watch that because I've seen a lot of people say, well, ETA is really a good movement. They're not a bad movement. I'm not. That's sort of not the point. But if you buy a real expensive watch, that's hey, Jure, how you doing, man? If you buy this real expensive watch, we can't say, oh, and then we find out there's sort of a junky movement in it. And it's not always easy. Some of these guys are really good at covering it up. One of the things that just it tickles me no end is Breitling. Breitling and Tudor, they they have this sort of a swap deal going on. Tudor uses their B01, and then they call it what do they call it, MT something for manufactured Tudor, and they give it another name and they call it in-house, and then uh, Breitling uses this Tudor movement, and they give it one of their B names. Everything that they have, all of their movements start with a B, and you have to sort of learn the code. Um, Man, so anyway, so what I was saying is, as tempting as it is for us to get caught up in the same Weasley talk, I think we should use what it is. I think when Rolex says we have a premium, you say, oh well, Rolex is price gouging because that's what they're doing. To say it's a premium, it sounds like you're putting a cherry on top of it or something. It just if they can get away with it that way. I think if we basically call them out, say, okay, so you're going to price gouge us on it because it's blue instead of black. There was this one of their things, what's it called, the Air something or other. And it happens to be a watch I really like. They have it in black and then they have it in blue. And the blue, they wanted like $6,500 premium for it. Well, they're going to price gouge us $6,500 if you want that watch. Hey, Alex, what's up? I got screwed with Balm and Mercier a few years ago. Canadian dollars for 28.24. Balm and Mercier. One of my sons had the same thing. He and his wife thought Balm and Mercier or Balm et Mercier was really a fancy brand. Just recently, they have this one called the Balmatic that's out of the Richemont movement factory called Valfleury. And that is sort of moving, I think, at least in sort of a near brand manufactured direction. But yeah, that's another thing. It was a good example. Balm and Mercier, they never told the truth. They're still not. Hey, Rich Buddy. Um, okay, all ETAs are about 2,500. You did okay. Yeah. don't don't but they lied to him about it. I don't think so. I bought these things. I bought an ETA and made a watch. The ETA cost me $100 for 64.98. It was not a new one, but it worked just fine. A new one, you'll pay, I don't know, their prices are all over the place, but I would say for an individual, if I buy one, maybe 250 bucks for 64.98 Unitas, all right, which is good hand wound movement. If you take that now, if you're talking about a watch company, they're buying them by the hundreds or the thousands. They're not paying that much for them. And you know, if you look at the prices of the watches, even with the companies that don't tell the truth about them, their prices are lower than the ones that are in-house. Now, it could be that we're really looking at they've got the movements are perfectly good. They got great movements, and I'm talking about ETA. They say, well, ETA is we have different levels. One is COSC, their best one. All right, what does that mean? Well, they went through and they tested it on different angles, 6 positions, I think, and it kept within a certain range that they have. Okay, that's COSC, but is the movement uh, that much better? No, it's just been adjusted more. Can we do it ourselves? Well, if it's got an ETA in it, I don't mind going in there and taking a toothpick and fiddling around with a regulator and a few other things. So I mean, like they say, well, that's worth several $1,000s. Baloney. Hi, official mainspring. Um, okay, what are you guys talking about? You guys are getting on. Hi, Milton. Oh, there you are again. Air King. Air. No, no, it wasn't the Air King. It was an Air something else. It's a really good one. Hi, True Junior. Um, Yeah, I know. True Junior, this is something, yeah, you're right about Panerai. I have said Panerai has got away from the mystery meat movements, and they now have their P9000 base, which I think is a good thing. You're right. All right. Have you seen that movement? Have you looked at it? What they've done is really funny. I got a kick out of it. If you look at the P9000 in the Panerai, what do you see? You see this giant plate on top of it, and you have no idea what's going on. Let me see if I got a watch here that you've got. Well, here's one. Uh, it's sort of hard to see. This is a Parmigiani, and they even have cutouts in the rotor so you can see the movement better. On my Moser, which I got tucked. Oh, here it is. On my Moser, you got that thing open up. You can see everything in there nice and clearly. And then in the German watches, they've got the three-quarter plate. Now, granted, the three-quarter plate was put in the German watches mainly for production, ease of production, but still you can see it. And I think that Maurice Grossman has a two-thirds plate, and so you can see even more of the movement. But old Panerai came out with one. It looks like a tortoise shell that they put over their movement. But that's okay. If it's a good movement, who cares, right? All right, let me see. Brigade Classic has come way down in value, and they have nice movement. Yes, those are the things to look for. Always find ones that the herd is going one way because they're not paying attention to the what's really in the watch or what goes into the watch, and so the not the value but the price is going down. That's another thing too. We got to differentiate between value and price. In a good watch, your value will not go down, not real value. Your price may go down, but not your value. Um, I got a watch a few years ago. It was FP Journe uh, uh, called Resonance, Chronomet Resonance. Okay, I got a decent price on it, and I just love that watch. I hope the whole process of Resonance. Now it was from 2002, which was exactly 3 years before FP Journe decided to put in gold plates and bridges in his movements. Okay, so that's okay. I didn't care because I really liked the watch. I was interested in resonance as a phenomena movements. And in fact, to some extent, it's considered a problem. All right. Well, the watch went up in price. Now, had it gone down in price, it would have changed the value. The value of that stays the same. And so people talk about value retention. They're really talking about price retention or price lack of price retention, not value retention. That's another. It's not sort of a weasel word so much as it is, I think, a misapprehension. Okay, in-house is not necessarily better. I agree with that, not necessarily. I mean, if there are a lot of watches if they had a Vaucheur movement in it instead of in-house, I'd prefer the Vaucheur. So you're right about that. But Vaucheur movements are pretty expensive. You put a Vaucheur in now, I think their base may be over $1,000 per movement. That's about 10 times what I think on when you're buying wholesale on something like an ETA. Not saying that ETAs are bad, but they're not, they're not high horology in this, and that's what they charge a lot of money for. High horology is another weasel term too. I think that was invented to be able to charge more for the watches. Base brass FP Joran collector's pieces. Yeah, official mainspring. That's what happened to me. I tell you, I'll take, at least in my case, I'll take dumb luck over being smart any day. Let's see. Okay, 606, 6006. I'm not sure what that is. Is a nice Calatrava. Okay. That's something I know a little of. The numbers is 6006. Is that the reference number or the movement number? My Calatrava is 3468, and the reason I can remember that is that the second half of the number is twice the first, so it's like it's 2 times 34 is 68, so it's easy to remember. Okay, between Gerard. Oh, okay. Gerard Perregaux, Blue Faces, NSL Pro. Which do you recommend for high horology? Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's a tough one. Alex, I would probably have to go with the Gerard Perregaux, even though the Zenith El Primero is an excellent movement. Okay, I've seen some deals on those. Let's see. Reference number. Okay, it has 240 movement. The Souvain looks best in rose gold to go along with the gorgeous gold movement. Yeah, I like that too. True Junior, I think so too. I have the platinum Souvain, and it has a gold movement. Doesn't look bad, but I do like. I know what you mean when the gold and gold look better together. Here is some real irony for you, and I think I know why. All of the platinum ones cost more than the gold ones, even though on the commodities market, the price of gold is higher than the price of platinum, even though platinum is like 10 times rarer than gold. But if you buy a watch, they'll always charge you more for the platinum. And somebody told me that the reason for that is simply because platinum is harder to work with. So there you go on that. Yeah, I'm a big Zenith fan. I have a Zenith Elite. That's another thing too. My Zenith Elite doesn't have an El Primero in it. I forgot what the movement is. It's some Zenith movement. That thing has been rock solid. Great tool watch. Okay, what else is going on? Let me see. Salida is going to be the new ETA once Swatch stops outsourcing it. Yeah, Swatch. I think Swatch may have shot itself in the foot, but that's neither here nor there. Guess who has they make about 2,000 watches a year, okay? I think it's about 2,000 watches a year but they make 50,000 mainsprings. You know who that is and why they make 50,000 mainsprings? Not mainsprings, hairsprings. What happens when okay, you don't know who it is. I'll tell you. No, it's not Beauvais, but that's a heck of a good guess. Um, it it sounds like something Beauvais would do. The reason it's H. Moser. H. Moser, their arm for movement making is called precise engineering, and their hairspring is a combination of niobium and titanium, and the, they used niobium because of the non-magnetic properties of it. Um, Same one that Rolex uses. They also have theirs are niobium and silicium, I think, whereas the ones that H. Moser made are they wanted to stay away from anything silicon based, so they have that. And not the majority, but a lot, apparently a whole lot of watch companies are using I mean, these are very high-end watch companies are using the Moser mainspring, hairspring, balance spring, if you will. And there's only one company that Moser can say is using their hairspring, and that's MB&F. Yeah, another piece of trivia. Tantalum. No, tantalum's different, right? Um, I was talking about titanium. Tantalum, man, that stuff is hard to work with. You want to hear a tantalum story that you don't want to hear? There was they were someplace in the Congo, I think they were mining. I think it's the Congo. They were mining tantalum near where gorillas lived, and they were an endangered species or something. And so they hired these guys to dig up the tantalum for them, and they were feeding them gorilla meat. So the guy quote, "Oh, this blue that was made by a guy eating gorillas." I don't know why that struck me as ironic, and I know that some troll is going to get me for that, but that's the way it is. Okay, let's see what are you guys going on here. Okay, NS something. Are you talking about the Chrononet Blues? They used to have good deals on. I think you're right. They usually sell a good price even if they get it. Okay. Oh my God. Jurizon, a few years ago, you could get a nice chrono for like 4K CAD here. Okay. Agenhor. Oh, Agenhor. They're the best. They are. The only thing I have by Agenhor is that they did the retrograde mechanism on a Harry Winston I have. That's another. But they have something called the Agengraph, which is a chronograph movement. That is just really something. Gee. Um, you know, I don't know off the top of my head. The question is, which companies are using Vossure? And there were some I heard that were using them, and I can't remember who they are. Sorry, but there were a number of them. They're really great. Yeah, the Agen graph. Those things are Singer reimagined use those. I'd love to get one of those. I think it's pretty expensive. Um, uh, I tell you, I don't like a lot of drama. The last time I went on to as soon as I came on to Clyde's chat, Don left. And so I don't want to. I like Don, and I get some people get mad at me. Boy, I got something. I think the air is changing around here, air quality. Okay, Fabergé, Singer, Agnew. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Those are really something. Hi, Deacon. When does collecting become hoarding? I tell you, I'll tell you what I think it is. Collecting becomes hoarding when you don't trade or sell your watches that you never use. Um, I try to use. I don't think I have a thing. Well, I do have a couple. I guess you could. I have this Russian alarm clock I got so I can have an alarm watch. Man, I got something stinging my eyes. I don't know what it is. Okie doke. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there's enough drama. I think I can learn a lot about watches listening to you guys. I really can. Someone will come and say, "Oh, hey, this is such and such." That's how we learn about stuff. If we share our knowledge rather than, I don't know, try to exchange. Man, I tell you, I wish that eye stuff would go away. I don't know what it is. Just happened now. Anyway, my time is up. I went a little over today because I got started late. But I want to thank everyone for coming. And tomorrow, oh man, we got a very, very interesting collection. It's a big collection. It's varied. I think you're going to like it. And by then, I hope I get my eyes. I don't know, something. It's like bad pollution or something. Anyway, thanks for coming and take care. Hope to see you tomorrow.